Good evening. My name is Elijah Elliott, and I am, of course, a student in this class. I don't even really know why I said that. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that I'm filming in my garage. I apologized in class. I was fixing to apologize here when I realized this is probably actually the most appropriate place for me to film for this video. Reason being, I need to tell you who I am, and as I look around, this is indicative of who I am as a person. I'm a constant tinkerer. Constantly looking into new things to build out, new things to try, and often the old projects don't finish before I lose interest and move to the next project. Specifically to what I have done over my life, after high school I went into the Marine Corps where I served just one enlistment, but that enlistment got me all the way around the world, including a deployment out to Afghanistan. When I finished that, I pursued my engineering degree at San Diego State. Since San Diego State, I have been building hospitals with Hensel Phelps as a construction engineer, and now moving into the master's program. In my personal life, I have a wife that we are going to hit our 8th anniversary here very soon, this weekend, next weekend, one of the two. And we have 3 kids, a set of 6-year-old twins and a 2-year-old baby named Remy. And we moved around a ton until we finally got into this house that we're quite proud of and looking to maintain and build on. I already explained in short what I do now. I'm a construction engineer, but that is somewhat of a vague title. My engineering involves bringing together drawings and design and making them actually stand up to be a building. So whereas an architect and a structural engineer run through scenarios to get a design put down on paper, an analysis put down on paper. Once those plans are completed, they need to send it to a series of engineers who know how to bring together a group and engineer the actual build. That's me. That's what I do. It involves wearing a ton of different hats, which is why I like it. What do I want to do? I don't know. I have no idea. That changes every day. Some days I doubt that I'm in the right space. Other days I'm convinced that it's the absolute right space. But it doesn't bother me one way or the other because the way I'm kind of made, I just pursue what makes sense, and as long as the bills are covered, then we're pretty okay. An interesting thing about myself that makes me special, I don't think I'm particularly interesting per se, but I was trying to think of really what makes me valuable, and I think it's the speed at which I perceive detail, then process these details and deliver upon them. So what I'm utilized most for at work is all the stuff that falls in between the cracks and needs somebody to be meticulous quickly. As my dad says, we get thrown in the mess, fix it, and then they send us to the next spot. That's kind of how we're bred. And that's what I'm good at. It's what makes me unique or special, if there is such a thing. The business and organizational climate that I work in it's construction, so it can be greasy. There's times that the ethics aren't there. I'm very lucky in that my organization is large and extremely honor bound. There is some people inside of it that question or make me question different ethical decisions and wonder, are my values in line not only with the people around me but with the industry around me, and that's good, that's healthy. But ultimately I think that my company is incredibly ethical. Do I think that the business environment of today is more or less ethical than it was when you started? So I think that there's people that are less ethical, but as an industry, we are very ethical. We would have to be. If ethics were weak, there's no way that you could get together big teams to build out big buildings that cost as much money as they do. If we had a bunch of dishonest people trying to work with clients, you simply couldn't get hired to continue moving forward. The companies that tend to be long-lasting and not flashes in the pan can be trusted at their word. We do have some individuals that perhaps question different things, that worry about cost or how to squeeze out dollars, but ultimately those guys don't get very far. Typically, there's outliers, but as an average, those people do not get very far. So we're coming up on 5 minutes. I think that's probably a good amount of time on this video. I'm happy to introduce myself and I guess speak to everybody within the post. Thank you very much.